Today on CityCast Denver, its history is a convoluted, mysterious one. No one is quite sure where exactly it came from. Maybe it came from New England in the 19th century when someone's mom sent her sailor son off on long voyages with rings of deep-fried dough with nuts in the middle. Maybe it really started in New York in the 1920s with a Russian baker and his fancy machine. But all we really know for sure is that donuts are delicious. And Denver has a ton of options. So me, Bree, Peyton, and Paul are ranking some of the more popular donut shops in town, but there can be only one winner. Today is Friday, May 6th, 2022. I'm Xandra McMahon, and this is CityCast Denver. Welcome back to CityCast Denver, the show about the city that loves its pastries. We've done burgers, we've done breakfast burritos, we've done fried chicken. Now it's finally time for something sweet. And I am so excited because all I care about is sweet. So this finally feels like the show for me. So today we're talking donuts in Denver. What's the best one? We asked for your opinions, listeners. You turned in some great responses. We've narrowed it down. But first, before we get into our competitors, I just want to know, Bree, are you a sweets person like me?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I'll eat sugar just straight out of fucking container.
Great.
I
Just
don't
put
care.
sugar on everything. Yeah.
I love it. And I love donuts are probably one of my top 3 favorite dessert-ish things. They come way before, like I'd rather have a donut over a cupcake or a piece of cake any day.
Yes. I really don't like birthday cake, but that's another day conversation.
you.
That's a conversation for another day.
I'm with you on that.
Paul, what about you? Sweets fan?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I will eat any sweet. I really, really love it. Donuts for me though are not something I don't seek out donuts a lot, but I'm always happy to see them when they're in a place, and I will eat too many of them. Like it's almost like when someone brings in a dozen donuts, I'll be happy for a second and then remember, well, I guess I'm going to feel this for the next couple days. You know, I'm going to eat 4 or 5 of those and I'll be upset.
Be sorry.
A little sluggish.
Sad with myself.
And then rounding out the group today, of course, is our foodie, Peyton Garcia. What about you? Do you like sweets?
Yes, I'm a sweet fiend. I have a really strong sweet tooth. So it sounds like the team as a whole,
Great.
we're a bunch of sugar addicts.
And I can't believe we put off doing something sweet for this long.
I know. If we're all sweets people,
Oh.
I actually didn't know that about us.
Yeah.
And I love donuts too. I have to agree with almost exactly what Bree said. They're like one of my go-to sweets too. As breakfast, as dessert, as a midday snack. Love me a donut. That's why I go to church. Free donuts.
That's the only reason. Not to see God, just for the donuts. Donuts are God.
Jesus Christ comes with free donuts.
Peyton, I want to start with you. Who did we eat donuts from?
Yeah.
And how did we land on them?
Yeah, so as usual, we put some call outs in the newsletter and in the show, and we got all of you guys to write in with all of your favorite donut recommendations. So I narrowed that down to the top 3 most popular ones, which ended up being Berkeley Donuts, Habit Donuts, and City Donuts. Those are the ones that people
Most
told
popular.
us we had to try. And then we threw in Voodoo Donuts because that's just a hot button donut topic. Everyone has an opinion. So we thought we would throw them in to see how they stand up to the others.
I think Voodoo Donuts takes up the most space in the donut conversation. So it demands an opinion. It demands judgment.
Yeah.
It does, yeah. I think it's a giant in the donut world. Not just in Denver, but...
Well, and I think they were on the early end of the trend to do weird stuff on your donuts. So
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Maybe a shout out before we get into our finalists. We talked about doing Lamar's. Lamar's is great. That's a great donut shop based in Kansas City, though. So we thought it doesn't feel like
It's
a
meh.
Denver
It's kind of a
thing.
Winchell's.
Winchell's, same deal. That's
Same
from
thing,
California,
same
I
thing.
think.
You know, a lot of people said that they're good old fashioned King Soopers donut lovers, which I'm in that camp. I love a King Soopers donut. I think that they make quality donuts there.
I
So
do too.
you
I
guys
think they
are
have a
heard.
bakery.
Yeah. They do good stuff.
Okay, so yes, thank you to everyone who called in. Obviously, we couldn't do them all. Do you want us to die from a sugar overdose?
Could barely do this many, honestly.
I know
I
we're
know.
all
already.
kind of run down right now.
We're a little sleepy. We're drinking the coffee while Peyton and Bree are drinking milk, which is probably not helping your sleepy
I
situation.
hear your hateful tone against us local milk people.
Our milk people.
I mean, eating a donut without milk just feels blasphemous.
Say that.
So
Peyton.
weird. I guess we should say too that we got a mix from every place. We just told them, give us a dozen of your best donuts, and we let the person working at the donut shop decide what that is. What is the best? And I am curious, before we move on to the next place, like what were some of the reactions when you asked the person behind the counter, like, just give me your best, just a dozen of your best?
Berkeley was great. She was the gal who was serving the donuts. She was like ready for me. She was like, "Hey, have you ever been in before?" And I was like, "No, but I know what I need. I need a dozen donuts." And she's like, "Cool. Do you want me to just pick those out, or do you know what you want?" And I was like, "No, give me your best." And she's like, all over it. And she was like all
Wow.
about it. She was great. So she was very excited. And then I told her we were doing a donut off. So hi gal from Berkeley's whose name I didn't get. I'm sorry, but she was very pleasant.
Oh,
Voodoo clearly gets this question a lot. So they have a whole pre-laminated sheet of paper that says, "This is our Voodoo dozen." I was like, "Hey, I want your best, your dozen of your best donuts." And he was like, "Cool." And he's like, "This is usually what we do. Here it is." And I was like, "Great." So it wasn't anything special.
I had a feeling with Voodoo it was going to be like, oh, you're just going to get the Voodoo dozen.
yeah.
I almost feel like sometimes they have those boxes like pre-boxed. Like you could just, I don't know if they boxed it for you or they just pull it out and they're like, here
He
you go.
boxed it up for me.
Oh, okay.
He was very nice. It was just like, it's something that they do a lot.
Okay.
Last time I was there, they had them pre-boxed.
Yeah.
I did not like that.
No, me neither.
I
I'm
want
like,
to
how?
watch them get picked and select. I want it to be for me.
Yeah.
Curated for me.
Well, and it's like, how long
You guys have
they
some
been-
real grand illusions about
no,
what
I mean,
people
I'm
in
just like-
customer-facing positions have to do every day for every single customer.
My only
That's
problem
fair.
with the
That's fair.
pre-boxing is like, I don't know how long they've been sitting in the box. What if they left a box from like the day before and I'm going to get super stale donuts?
I just have a feeling when you're there, if they're doing that, it's because they're so busy that they're
Okay,
moving
no.
quickly. I was there at 8:45 on a Thursday. I can't imagine that's a pop in time.
There was nobody in there.
for Voodoo. No.
Okay. And then at Habit, which is where I went, they were kind of like, I was like, give me a dozen of your best. And she kind of paused and she was just like an assortment. And I was just like, whatever you think is your best. She's like, okay, because all of the flavors are the best. And I was like, okay, great. And then she said, we only have 8 flavors.
Oh.
So you're going to have to double up. So pick 4 that you want to double up. So I just like picked 4 random ones.
Can I just say, as a donut place, you got to have at least 12 flavors.
It does seem a little odd that they don't have 12 flavors, but
That
didn't
may
we
ding
discover
against-
that they make different ones every day, right?
Oh, that's true.
Which is nice.
So, if you're a smaller operation, it's probably a lot to ask.
Yeah. And City, what was there?
They could not care less. I said,
Yeah.
I was excited. I went in there enthusiastic and she was just like, sure. Yeah, great. Here you go.
Just again, just
Didn't matter at
probably
all.
an
Nothing.
assortment that they always do.
Yep.
I know. I was going to say, guys, they're serving
Berkeley was
donuts.
great.
They're not
Not a big deal.
showing you their finest wares.
Yeah. So okay, so that's how we order the donuts, and then when we were all eating, we all kind of tried to get 2 donuts from each place. Some of us had cake donuts, some of us had yeast donuts. So, just take all of this with a grain of salt, listeners. Anyways, let's go
No,
to
Absolutely not. I've been eating donuts for months. I took this very seriously.
That's right. I'm
I
sorry.
am
This is
extremely
the
biased. I already
official-
like the place I like, but go ahead.
What we say is the best
law.
donut. Yeah, what we say is law. Okay.
Before we get into our finalists, maybe now would be a good time for a quick coffee break and a word from our sponsors.
Great idea.
Look at that.
My cat Freddie loves to be brushed and cuddled. But stirring up his cat allergens meant sneezing and itchy eyes. Then I found Purina One Live Clear. It's cat food that reduced the major allergen and my suffering in as little as 21 days. Now, we feel closer than ever. If you have issues with cat allergens, you really need to try Purina One Live Clear.
Try new Purina One Live Clear today. Purina One, a difference from day one.
What did you just say to me?
What did you just say? You've got this glazed
Oh,
over
out of
look.
it.
Glazed.
Glazed.
Get it?
Wake up, Bree.
Okay.
We're back. Let's start with our first contestant. I'm going to go with City Donuts. Paul, this was yours, right?
Yes, this was mine. I'm so excited to talk about this. So we started doing donut. We decided we were going to do donuts like 2 months ago, maybe. It's been a while. Mm-hmm. And I decided to take this one really seriously. So this morning was not the first time I've been to City Donuts. I've now been to the Colfax location, and this morning I went to the Aurora location, the original. So the story with City Donuts is, according to their website, they've been serving donuts out of this location in Aurora for more than 50 years.
Holy cow.
That's the story.
Oh.
However, I talked to the person who is serving donuts this morning, and she said that the owner, she said that the owner used to work for Winchell's and that they recently changed something about the way the business worked. So I looked it up, and it turns out that City Donuts is actually much, much younger than that. I suspect they used to be a Winchell's, and all they did was rebrand. Like they just canceled their franchising agreement and then put this City Donuts brand on top of it.
That would make sense with my experience with the donut.
Right? It kind of clicks together because they're very much that like classic donut shop. It feels like a Winchell's. It tastes like a Winchell's. I think it's because it's a Winchell's.
How long ago was that they rebranded?
It's not on their website. They don't have anything about that. On Yelp, I found a note that said it was from the owner, Sam, and the note gave 2 dates, 2012 and 2015. So I really don't know. I mean, if there's anyone from Aurora who's been enjoying donuts in Aurora for a long time, I would really like to know what the real story is here. Because it seems like, I don't know, I mean, my story sense was tickling a little bit when I was in there hearing this. Like, was there some kind of conflict happening between City Donuts and Winchell's and like this family?
The donut wars.
I want to know everything.
Donut PI.
Donut
I
PI.
want to know everything. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
So do you guys like Winchell? I've never had Winchell's.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
think it's
honestly, if
fine.
you like a King Soopers donut, you'd like a Winchell's donut. Don't you think, Paul?
Totally.
I love learning this though, because as I was eating it, that was kind of my note, was like, it's fine, it's good, but it tastes too like yeasty. It tastes too much like these other donuts, these like classic donuts that have been around for years. I actually wrote down Krispy Kreme, but I could see Winchell's making more sense there.
Yeah, I think they have the same. I mean, they have the same selection as Winchell's. You know, they have got fritters, they got your jelly filled, they got a cream filled. They'll have sprinkles, they'll have raised, they'll have a cake donut. They really have like the full classic selection of donuts. Like, you're not going to be disappointed. If you go out for donuts, you stop at City Donuts for a dozen, you're going to get everything you expect.
What I get disappointed in a more classic place like that is when they try to go rogue and do the wild thing, like that's like sugar or cereal donut or whatever, and it just usually is not that great.
Stay in your lane. So what was what was your review, Peyton, of City Donuts?
Well, I want to preface this with, when you're eating donut after donut after donut after donut, they all start to blend together. And I did my best to revisit each place, each donut, and really make some distinctions. They're classic donuts, and they're sitting on a table with a lot of really out there donuts. Overall, though, I would still go to Lamar's over City. I think Lamar's is personally my favorite donut place, and
For a classic donut.
yeah, for a classic donut, and they tasted a little bit different. I feel like they were like more bready than Lamar's is. Like Lamar's is like lighter and fluffier, I think, and they felt a little bit denser.
That was my problem with City too.
Yeah, just bready.
Yeah, yeasty, but bready is better.
Yeah. So I mean, they were good. They were good for classic donuts. They did their best next to all of these kind of funky donuts. But
Bree, what did you think?
I have to say, you tell me that story, and now my mind has changed because I don't feel like we almost should have them in the running if they're kind of just a Winchell's.
Yeah, I was really excited about City Donuts before, but after I learned this, it was like,
meh,
it's fine. I don't know.
Deceptive.
Yes.
I wonder, listeners, let us know if this outrages you too, because I know a lot of people submitted City Donuts thinking like, oh, it's like Denver's local darling, but maybe it's not.
Well, let me put something on the other side of the balance here for a second, because when I was Googling this chain this morning, I saw a very charming little story that happened earlier this year. February, a stolen car crashed into the Aurora location of City Donuts, almost killing a man and his 4-year-old child.
Oh my gosh.
Who had gone to this City Donuts every Saturday morning for 2 years through the pandemic. Like this was their thing to do together. Both, they're okay. The shop is not. They still have a boarded up window, which, it's sad. Wish they could get that fixed. But the City Donuts people decided they gave the little boy a free donut every Saturday for life.
Whoa.
Yeah. How sweet is that? That's so
Pretty
nice.
cool. That's very nice.
I also wonder if since their rebrand, I mean, coming with that, I wonder if they changed their recipe or anything. Because if you're deciding to unbrand yourself as a Winchell's, maybe you've changed things.
I don't think they changed a single
No.
thing.
It doesn't.
It looks like Winchell's. It
Yeah.
tastes like
It
Winchell's.
smells
I
like
think it's
okay.
Winchell's, but with
It's
this
Winchell's, but in a
Yeah.
sheepskin.
Yeah.
and a picture of Homer Simpson on the front door.
Oh, of
as well.
course. Of course.
All right.
Let's talk about Berkeley Donuts. Peyton.
Yeah. So Berkeley Donuts was founded by Drew and Leah Watson. They're the owners of Hops and Pie, which is a pizzeria and tap room, and they've been in the Berkeley neighborhood for over a decade now. And they established Berkeley Donuts out of that same shop back in 2020. And the thing about Berkeley is they do potato donuts, which I had never heard of, but let me tell you what that is all about. So according to their website, potato-style donuts are from New England. They're made with potatoes and traditional flour rather than solely traditional flour. They came to popularity in New England in the 1940s when bakers discovered that adding potatoes to the dough made the donut fluffier, sweeter, and moister. Berkeley Donuts Potato Donuts uses fresh Colorado potatoes from Jones Farm in Hooper, Colorado, and a 9-year-old sourdough starter from Hops and Pie. Berkeley Donuts, so all of their donuts are potato style, so they all have potatoes in them, but their styles include cake, sourdough, vegan, and gluten-free.
Very interesting.
The potato thing is so cool.
Yeah.
I think it's so interesting. And Hooper, isn't that in the San Luis Valley? And I know there's a lot of potato farmers down there.
I love that it's local potatoes.
I know, and sometimes potato donuts are known as spud nuts.
Spud nuts?
Spud nuts. No. And owner Drew Watson, he first tried a potato donut when he went to a bachelor party in Maine back in 2016. He tried it and became obsessed. He then spent the next 4 years perfecting his recipe before he opened up Berkeley Donuts. And some of the most notable distinctions in my potato donut research is that what it does is he kind of likened it to a French fry in the way that the outside gets crisp, but the inside stays really like soft. So and I definitely noticed that when you bite into it, there's much more of a crisp.
On the cake donuts especially, I'd say I'd noticed that. The cake donuts from Berkeley were like, I love that little thin bit of texture, the crust on the outside.
I like that too.
I really, really like the cake donuts from Berkeley Donuts.
Yeah. I thought it was cool. I've never tried it. I really like that. That's what I liked about it, was the texture of the donuts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Bree, how about you?
I think it was a good cake donut. Now that I know that was what I was experiencing was that crunch and then the softer inside. And the blueberry lavender donut from them was the most beautiful looking donut we had of all the donuts, for sure. The glaze was just like this gorgeous deep red, and it looked lovely, but it was okay. Taste wise, it was okay. It was a little salty.
I liked it.
It's salty, really. I thought
got
it tasted.
salt.
I was surprised that it was blueberry lavender. I
didn't
bit
get
into
any
it before I
lavender.
knew. Well, I tasted a little bit of floral, but I tasted lemon more than anything. I thought it tasted really lemony. I thought it was a lemon flavor, and then Peyton was like, "No, that's blueberry lavender." But yeah, I agree with you. It was gorgeous looking.
Yes.
I thought it was good. I think blueberry lavender is like a very specific taste. That is just anything with lavender is just a very odd taste. You have to know what
Yeah, I
you're
just
getting
don't
into, I think.
I don't like the smell of lavender. I think it's disgusting. But that wasn't overwhelming in the donut to me at all, because I wouldn't have picked it if it was.
Can we also say how those donuts are stored? How they? Oh yeah. Because like the rest of them, you'll get a classic donut box, but because this place is a pizza place at night, they'll put your dozen in a pizza box.
Yeah.
Genius.
It's the most endearing thing and more functional,
Yes, because your
Yes.
donuts are not on top of each other. It's great.
which was a big problem at a couple of the other places, in
Yeah,
my opinion. We
for
haven't talked
sure.
about.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't like your food touching. There's
I
some
do
problematic
like how
donut boxes.
The donut boxes, though, like make it look like there's a lot in there. Like you open it up and it's just like a sea, a mess of donuts.
It is a real treasure.
I love it. It is,
Chest.
yes,
Yeah,
a
but I
treasure
don't need
chest.
that. I don't need that strawberry glazed donut getting all up on my
Yeah.
chocolate glazed donut. Sometimes that's a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, you look in the Voodoo Donuts box right
That's
now,
a
it's a
mess.
bloodbath.
It's
kind of a mess.
definitely the smallest box, but yeah. I had the puppy chow one from Berkeley too, which was like it's like a chocolate cake donut with like Muddy Buddies and like powdered sugar on top and peanut butter, and I don't like peanut butter.
But that's like puppy
So,
chow.
I
Puppy
know.
chow is
What is puppy chow?
that's what it's called. It's when it's like an actual snack that people make.
Muddy Buddies.
Rice Chex cereal coated with like a buttery, chocolatey peanut butter mixture, and then mixed with like covered in powdered sugar at the end.
Yeah, that's Muddy Buddies.
I
Yeah,
guess,
so-
yeah, that's what puppy chow is too, essentially, with peanut
I've
butter
never
thrown in
heard
there.
it called
But like,
puppy chow in my life.
Weird.
I think this is the time for me to reveal my bias against cake donuts. I really don't like cake donuts.
Wow.
So I tried it. All right, I'm open-minded. I'm an open-minded person, but I just didn't really enjoy it. But it's nothing against Berkeley. I just don't think I'd enjoy a chocolate cake donut anywhere. It just feels like a waste of time for me.
I tried their blueberry lavender and the coffee cake. Those were the two that the gal recommended to me when I got mine. She was like, "Hey, get in on these ones because they're good." And I did. I enjoyed both of them.
I love that you had the donut connect. You had like the person that was like, "What up, Peyton? Let me
most-
give you the inside." And the rest of us were
knew.
just like, "Here's some donuts."
Right, they were just like, best donuts? I don't know, here.
Get out of
Listen,
my
lady,
face.
I got a line out the door. We need to get you out of here.
Well, but that's part of it though. Like these other places, like no, it shouldn't be an expectation that someone puts their heart and soul into their donuts. But at Hops and Pie, I think they do. I think
Yeah,
they
I
really
do- I think
care
they
about
do
what
too.
they're making.
So I really like Berkeley's story, though. That's very charming. I also had never heard of potato donuts before
Yeah.
this. So I feel like it's interesting. These stories are kind of changing my ranking a little bit.
Right? Isn't that interesting?
Okay, but let's move on. So let's do...
Why don't we do yours, Xandra? Why don't we do
Yeah.
Habit Donuts?
We'll do Voodoo last. All right, let's do Habit. This is another one that came highly recommended to us. So they started, it's a local biz. They opened the first one near Confluence Park in 2015. And it was just like a restaurateur kind of lady named Lisa Ruskop. Peyton, have you heard of this person? I haven't seen. I tried to do some research on her, and she's not connected to any other projects. It's just like Habit Donuts.
Mysterious.
But she told 303 Magazine in 2019, quote, "My whole life I've tried to create places that surprise you, pique your curiosity, and are better than expected to keep you coming back." And so you go in a Habit, and like their whole thing is like boozy donuts. Like you can get a little, I don't even know what to call it. Like
A
it's like
pipette.
it's a thank you, a pipette of booze sticking out of your donut. And I thought about doing that with ours, but then I decided that whiskey shots with donuts at 9 a.m. probably isn't very work appropriate. So we did not get the boozy injections. But so Habit Donuts, they had a second location in 5 Points, but that just closed during the
it did?
pandemic. Yeah.
Oh,
And I
too
asked
bad.
the lady today when I was getting my donuts, like, oh, are you going to reopen your 5 Points location? And she said no. So,
a shame.
yeah. The other thing that cracked me up while I was doing research about Habit is like how many taglines they have just like on various platforms. Like on their website, the main tagline is irresistible confections and boozy injections to feed your addiction. And then elsewhere it says known as the Cheeky Bakery on Platt. And then on Facebook it says born in Denver, raised on hip hop. So I'm just like, how many taglines does this place need?
They're trying to meet a very large
Really are.
So
audience.
the brand is about hip hop and also addiction.
And booze. There's
like-
yeah.
I mean, it seems like they're
Vice?
trying to be very cool.
yeah.
Hey, we're the cool
they're
place.
they're
to hang
they're
out.
definitely trying to be edgy. Like they're definitely trying to appeal to a certain crowd.
Makes me feel like they have a marketing team of like
That's what
four
I'm thinking.
17-year-olds, and they're like, just give us all the cool words.
And like, but no, I mean, it's a cool place. I had never been in there. It's like a cool little vibe. And I think that they're open later too, obviously, because they're serving alcohol and like there's a bar. So the one Habit location now, it's attached to a cafe that like has a full bar and like food. So that's where they get their alcohol from. So you can really choose whatever you want. Like I've seen on the website that they recommend like doing their blazed donut with a shot of Fireball whiskey, which sounds disgusting to me, but maybe it sounds good to you. I don't know.
From what I remember when they first opened, I think that they were really focused on being a community space first and foremost, and like just a cool community space that also serves edgy donuts. Like that was the vibe that they were putting out, because they also because they serve drinks, right?
And food.
Yeah,
Yeah, drinks and food. Yeah, so
Carbon
they're
next door.
At Carbon, that's what it's
right.
called.
So
Yep.
their whole idea is like they want to be a hangout spot. So it's not like their whole brand identity is around these donuts.
And I will say for old Denver heads, this is the former location of Paris on the Platte and Paris Wine Bar. And when you go into the Carbon side of it, they have pieces of the walls and the doors and such from Paris framed.
Oh, that's
in there.
cool.
It my cynical self at first was like, oh, that's weird. It's like a tombstone. But I've gone there many times since they opened, and it's a lovely coffee shop. The food was nice. They have a great patio in the back, I have to say. Well, and the other thing is Paris closed because the owner, Faye, didn't want to run it anymore. It's not like something terrible
Drove
happened.
them
No,
away,
they just,
yeah.
she was done. And this happened to be the next business that went in. And I like them. I like that spot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's a cool spot.
Yeah.
So, and then their donuts were really good, I thought.
Do they do CBD donuts, you said?
They do
I
CBD
wanted to
donuts.
try one of
yeah.
those. I'll have to go down
I don't
there.
know. Well, I mean, maybe they weren't doing CBD donuts today, or maybe you have to specially. Oh, you know what it is? You have to ask for a CBD injection. So it's similar to the alcohol. Because I was just like, did I accidentally
That's
give you
right.
all a CBD donut without telling you? But no, I
And
think
good night.
And good night. That's why Bree's so sleepy. No, just kidding. CBD doesn't do anything. But no. So I think you pay for like an upcharge. Like I know like the boozy shots. At least last time I checked, it's like a $2 or $3 surcharge, like upcharge, which is like not bad for
I
a
was going
shot.
to say that doesn't seem
I mean,
too
it's a
expensive.
small pipette, but like still, it's not bad. But what did we all think of the Habit donuts?
Man, I had two very different donuts, and I had two very different reactions to those donuts. I will start with the good, which was the white chocolate raspberry. What was the
Streusel and
streusel?
Raspberry glaze
and blueberry.
and blueberry.
That was the one with the blueberries on top.
That's like their signature donut, right?
Feed
I had
my
that one too.
habit.
Oh,
So
that
good.
donut was fire.
Yeah,
I
loved it.
loved it.
I should try it.
The fresh blueberry on top.
Oh,
That's the topping the donuts need. Is
And-
like some fresh fruit. Maybe some produce with that donut. I had never thought about that before, but I also really
and
liked
it was like it had the right amount of sour in there.
Mm-hmm.
It had that like almost lemony sour. Oh, it was
And I don't
so
like white
good.
chocolate, but that was really good. It
was a
all
nice
worked
touch.
really well together.
It was a it was a nice touch. So I loved that donut from Habit. The tahine donut was really gross.
That was tahini with like the mango.
It seemed like a
flavored
mango,
icing.
or yeah,
Maybe
so,
pineapple. It's hard to tell.
yeah. If you're a tahini fan, and if you're not familiar, tahini is a spice mix that's like lime, chili, salt, and it's delicious on melon, pineapple, mango, cucumber. I mean, you can,
All fruits, really.
all fruits, some veg. It's delicious. So I thought, oh man, I'm a tahini freak. I'm gonna love this. And I have to say, with the starch combo, the heaviness of a donut, the uber sweetness of a frosting, it was a no-go for me.
Yeah, I tried that one
Interesting.
too. I'm also really into tahini, especially like on my fruit. I love like the tahini covered like lollipops. Those are so good. But it was weird. I didn't hate it, but I don't think I would ever do it again. I would not wake up and be like, you know what I want? A tahini covered donut for breakfast. Not what I would do. Interesting choice. Maybe there's a market out there for it. It's not me and Bree.
Did anyone else try the glazed?
Yes, I loved it.
That was so interesting. Okay, so I thought this was something totally different than what I thought it was going to be. It's just a glazed donut that's hand torched, like a creme brulee kind of.
Huh.
And it had that kind of burnt crispiness that with but it was still really good.
It's like it was like caramelized on the outside, which is just delicious anyway. But again, I think I kind of go back to this texture thing, which is why I liked the Berkeley donuts so much, that it was like really crisp when you bit into it, and then like all fluffy and donutty on the inside. It was good. I really
gotta
liked
try
it.
That one.
Yeah.
I think I gotta try that one.
To definitely get in on
I
it.
was feeling that same way, Paul, but I don't think I can hang.
I know I need to try the signature one that you
Can't eat
guys are
anymore.
talking about.
Yeah, good thing I got 2 of the Feed My Habits, because that one,
Yeah.
crowd favorite. It's kind of weird, huh? But good. It's like weird in a
I
good
really
way.
liked it.
It is weird.
Weird. And
I like hand torch. Like I'm a creme brulee fan, so it's like
Yeah.
the whole caramelized
I'm a creme brulee
approach.
fan too. Now I want to try that.
You gotta
Just
shove
try
it in,
it,
Bree.
Bree. Go
Just
get
do
it.
it.
This is really good.
Isn't it good?
Paul was not that into it.
Yeah, it's not my favorite.
Besides the fact that it tried to kill you.
And they tried to
it did
kill
try
me.
to kill me.
That's what the tahini does to me every time.
It's like
Ow.
it was like maybe a little too dense for me or something. I don't know.
yeah.
It also didn't taste. Maybe it's the hand torching, but that just doesn't taste super fresh to me. That's like my main thing with donuts too, is freshness. If I'm going into a donut shop, that's what I'll ask people is, what's the freshest one? And that's the one I want.
Okay, any other final thoughts about Habit before we move on?
Oh yeah, I wanted to say the malted milk donut. I tried that one. Did anyone else try that?
Oh, the dude.
Really, really nice. Super rich.
Oh man, now I need to
like-
go over there.
I have an aversion to
Warm
anything that's a
feeling.
reference to the Big Lebowski.
Why did I think you were a Big Lebowski fan?
I don't know.
You look like it.
I
like
couldn't
a Big
even watch
Lebowski
the whole
fan.
movie. I was like, this is the worst movie I've ever
Oh,
seen.
Bree, no, it's so good. I don't know.
But the donut was good.
The malted milk one?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll
I
have to
really
try
liked
it.
it.
Great.
Yeah. That was one of my top 2 donuts. It was that
Wow.
and the puppy chow one from Berkeley. Was
You
my
liked-
other favorite.
Really?
Yep.
If I liked peanut butter and I liked cake, I probably would have liked it. Okay. Last but not least, well, maybe least, Voodoo Donuts.
Haters.
Do we share? Should we go around?
Gather
and
round,
share
haters.
our opinions first, or
I want to hear Bree. Bree did a little bit of reading on this, right?
Well, I did, and I had some personal experience with going to Voodoo before it came to Denver. But it started in 2003 in Portland. 2003 is like height of, or the beginnings of, outside of New York, the cupcake craze, right? So these guys, it's not a very interesting story. 2 quirky white guys want to start a donut shop. Whatever. If you look at their picture, it's like they look like band guys, like they could have been in
Portland
the Dandy Warhols
hipsters.
or of Montreal or something. They just have that vibe. So it's not that interesting of a story. It came to Denver in 2013, I believe. So it's almost been here for 10 years, which is interesting. But in 2006, I went on a trip to the Pacific Northwest with my friend Sarah Cass. And then we also went to Portland, and we kept hearing about this donut shop. So we went to Voodoo, and it was delicious. But I bought this pack of like pins to wear from Voodoo, and one of them said Texas. And I never knew. So last night I was digging for my Texas pin. I could not find it to show you guys, but I Googled it to try to figure out, is there a Texas donut? what is the voodoo Texas thing? Sadly, Texas, I believe, it's been pretty much scrubbed from the internet as far as I can tell. It was their half a pound donut that
I know what this is. I've heard of this.
You could get, and you would get free donuts, I think, if you could eat this half a pound donut in under 80 seconds.
Holy shit.
I know, it gets dark. So this is where it gets dark, and I apologize. Trigger warning, it's a little dark. Here in Denver, I think in 2017, a gentleman took on this challenge to eat the half-pound donut in under 80 seconds and choked and died. So they suspended the Texas donut eating competition across the chain, and this is why you can't find anything about Texas anymore. So
Did anyone try to Heimlich him?
2 people did, according to the story I read
Oh,
on
God.
Eater. It was such a horrifying thing for me to think about as, again, a person who's worked customer service, and I'm thinking of like an 18-year-old standing behind the counter.
Yeah.
Sure, dude, you want to do our challenge? Here it is. And it just sounds traumatic all around. I'm so sorry for this gentleman who passed away. His name was Travis. It was awful. But at any rate, I went digging to find out what Texas was all about.
God.
And sadly, that's what it
When
was
you're
about.
saying
the sad
Texas, is that like Texas? T-E-X?
I think
ass.
the joke is like, well, also everything's bigger
Everything's
in
bigger in
Texas,
Texas.
right?
Yeah.
But again, I couldn't find anything on the internet about it.
Huh.
I want to take a little lighter look at voodoo from just like a anthropological person that studies people's perspective. What I love about voodoo is it's a 24-hour donut shop. There's not a lot of places where teenagers can hang out. And anytime I'm at the voodoo on Colfax in particular, there's always teenagers hanging out, waiting in line. Because when you're a teenager, a lot of the stuff you do is just hanging out with your friends doing a lot of nothing.
Yeah.
And it was like the one time I was there and a limo pulled up and a bunch of kids from prom got out and got their donuts. And I was like,
that's fun.
I kind of love that about voodoo is it gives kids something to do that's fun and interesting. So that's my cheerleading moment for voodoo is like, it's a cool spot. And I know there's also been some controversy. I have to address this other controversy, which is the Voodoo Donuts on South Broadway is in the former location of Famous Pizza, which was there for 45 years, which again, my husband Greg grew up in Baker. I think it was probably the first place he had pizza. A lot of people had feelings about that. I'm not trying to defend voodoo. It's also not voodoo's fault. That the business owners or the building owners decided there was going to be a change. And I also heard from some business owners on South Broadway who were really excited because voodoo brought business. And if you have a line down the block, people are going to go to other stores and other restaurants and other things. So I don't know. I'm not a voodoo apologist by any means, but
So we talked about a lot of stuff around voodoo and like the brand, the vibe, the aesthetics.
yeah.
I got one word for the donuts themselves.
See, I was just not even going to try because I feel like you guys are all going to hate. So it's fine.
Bree
Wait, do you want to stick up
likes
for
the donut.
Absolutely.
Bring it on. You go first then.
I will eat a donut from pretty much anywhere. I'll eat a donut from a gas station. I love a good donut. I love a crappy donut, whatever. My favorite kind of donut of all time is a cake sprinkle donut. Voodoo kills it. Their sprinkle donuts their cake donut, first of all, it's great. It's perfect, plain, it works. But they load up on the sprinkles. They're the only place I've ever had like a thick layer of sprinkles, and any vehicle for sprinkles is something that I will consume because I love sprinkles. They do it. I've never had a bad sprinkle donut at Voodoo. They make the world's most disgusting donut, which is my favorite, the bubblegum donut. I did learn someone else in the Westward office, what up, Cindy, also loves the bubblegum donut, but she is literally the only other person I've ever met who's like, ooh, bubblegum.
I do like bubblegum ice cream.
Oh, I love
That's where
bubblegum
it's
ice
at.
cream. Oh. But I have never had a bad donut at Voodoo. I enjoy it. I love a good Voodoo donut.
What about the Captain Crunch cereal donuts? How do you feel about those?
I don't really care for the weird donuts they do. It's not interesting to me. I don't like cereal on my donut. I did have the maple bacon donut for the first time today. Delicious.
Oh.
So good. Great mix of salt and sweet.
I should
loved
give it a
it.
chance.
Oh, it's Well, sorry, Xandra, it's gone. I will say that's hands
Next
down the
time.
best donut I had today.
Really?
I would agree. It's one of
personally
mine.
don't like Voodoo because of all of their crazy donuts. I don't need a whole Oreo on my donut.
feel
I
you.
don't need
I
stale
don't either.
Captain Crunch on my donut. I don't need a sour grape donut. I don't need that. I just like a normal donut. So I don't like them for that reason. That being said, I don't give their regular donuts all that much of a chance because I'm not going to wait in line behind all
Fair.
the people who want cereal donuts when I can get a good ass donut from Lamar's.
Fair. And I don't go at the time when it's super busy.
Yeah.
Like, I feel you. It is sort of an event. They know what they're doing. You want to go to Colfax and get a donut and hang out in front of a business on Colfax? Voodoo's perfect for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
And
that
the
said-
location on South Broadway is beautiful too. They did a
Yeah.
really, really nice job
They
at that
did.
place.
Nice neon, too. Love a good neon
All
sign.
the
Yep.
drunk people too just funnel right in there. I was there. I
It's
was
just
out-
like pizza. It's genius.
yeah, I was
Mm-hmm.
on Broadway on Saturday night at like 1 a.m. and it was just like so many people.
If weird donuts, if Oreo donuts and cereal donuts are your thing, that's awesome. Go for it. That's Voodoo. But for those of you who have not tried maple donuts with bacon on top, it is where it's at. They are so good. And
Okay.
sorry, I ate all.
It's
pretty
okay,
much all of
Peyton.
it. It's
I'll
so
try
good.
it next time.
So good.
So whenever I go to Voodoo, because I also am with Peyton and Bree on like I don't like weird donuts, I just get the standard, just chocolate glazed or just regular glazed, and they do those well too. Like those classic ones are good. Today I tried to branch out and try some of the weirder ones, so I did try the Captain Crunch cereal donut, and yeah, it wasn't my vibe. The cereal tasted stale.
Are there
it was
people
like,
out there who like this?
I
I've never
guess, I
met a
don't
single
know.
person who likes the cereal donut.
I honestly think
Never.
it's like a novelty thing.
You try
it's
it once and then you
want to
never do
do
it
something
again.
fun. You want to take somewhere. You know, you got relatives from Kansas. You want to take them to do something cool. This is the kind of place.
Yeah.
I'd also say Stoners, great market to target. Like if you just want a weird, I know when I maybe am partaking in certain things, I have weird flavor desires, and I think Voodoo knows that. So.
well, Paul, finish us off.
I got one word for Voodoo
Oh
Donuts.
Lord.
They should call it doo-doo donuts. These
There's their
donuts,
rebranding.
no good. Don't like them.
Why?
Get the cereal off. It's always stale. Tastes like crap. It's all about aesthetics with this place, and the aesthetics are junk for all the reasons we've talked about. Like all of the donuts that they put out there is their like signature ones. Like the iconic one, the Voodoo doll. Right? It's
Yes.
shaped like a person. It comes with a pretzel rod in it, like sticking out of it. It's filled with the red jelly. It's disgusting. I had it for the first time today. I hated it.
Like the frosting, because I didn't like it either. But like, is like the frosting too sweet? Like, what do you think? Like, I didn't know how to pinpoint why I didn't like it.
I think the jelly was very low quality jelly that was like only sugar. Like it didn't taste like fruit at all. And there was too much of it. It was like so much sweeter than the rest of the donut, which was already sweet. It was like it didn't work for me at all. And the pretzel rod, it gets soggy in the jelly.
Oh yeah.
So it's like a droopy jelly logged pretzel.
Soggy pretzels are pretty gross.
That's really gross.
Like
yeah,
I
they
get
have to
that
rethink
it
that.
looks cool and it's like a voodoo doll, great, but it's really bad.
Yeah.
Put
it
it
is.
in the arm where there's not jelly, or put the pretzel somewhere else, guys.
Or put the pretzel on the side so I can stick it in.
Oh yeah, that'd be more fun.
You know, make it an activity for me.
What I'm taking away from this is
Guys
everyone's
are asking
like,
too much.
Maybe yeah, okay, that's
everyone's
fair.
like,
That's fair.
don't do the novelty donuts at Voodoo. We all get it. We don't like the novelty donuts, but I'm not going to go to Voodoo for a regular donut when I can go anywhere else for a good regular donut. Even if the
they
regular
do the
donuts are
classic
good.
sprinkle better than anyone else. So
And you know what, Peyton? You can't go anywhere else though sometimes because Voodoo's the only one that's open really late. And when I'm craving donuts at like 10
Valid.
p.m. and I want them delivered to my door, Voodoo's there in like 20 minutes.
That's a
they
valid
deliver?
point.
Well, through like
through Uber or
DoorDash,
whatever,
yeah,
sure,
or whatever.
sure,
But
sure.
yeah, I cannot tell you
probably,
how
like-
many times me and Cheyenne have done that. Like, oh, it's like super late and we want donuts.
They're
love this.
probably one of the only donut places that stays open. I mean,
Yeah.
Berkeley starts selling at 7:30 and then they sell until they sell out, which is usually like 11.
So there you go, Bree. I'm sticking up for Voodoo a little bit.
I love that I've become the voodoo apologist,
right.
and I
I-
don't even mean to be.
I had the Portland cream. That was the only cream filled one we had on the whole table, I think, was from Voodoo. I liked it all right.
Good.
I liked it all right. I like a cream-filled donut, and that was pretty good. Solid.
I think it's just easy to hate, frankly.
It's so easy to
It
hate.
is. Anyways, okay.
Yuck and the yums.
This is going on so long. We should rank them. Let's rank. Let's pick our favorites.
I can give you an answer.
Okay, Peyton, go first.
Lamar's.
No,
What?
That's not how this game works.
I will say all of these donuts, there were a lot of good ones. But the whole time I wished I was at Lamar's. That's how I felt. I do love Lamar's donut. I was waiting for one that tasted like Lamar's donuts. I don't think that they really, and none of them stacked up to it. But out of who we have here, I think Berkeley, for me, won by a long shot. Those potato style donuts were just really interesting. I'd never heard of them. I loved the texture, like I said. My experience there was great. Their variety was awesome. They do kind of unique stuff without going full voodoo. So they won it for me.
Good. And then who was your last place? I want first and last place from everyone.
I don't, without, crapping all over voodoo, I'm going to take them out of the running and say I was not super impressed by City.
Great. Because it's a wind chills.
Apparently, yeah. And even before I knew that, I was just like, they're not Lamar's.
Yeah. All right, Paul.
I'm with Peyton. Same boat. Number one for me was Berkeley Donuts. I'm thinking like, which of these dozens, if I show up to a party or a get together, like what's going to make people happiest? I think it's that pizza box from Berkeley Donuts. There's not a loser in that box for me. I think everybody's happy with that.
And City was last for you.
City wasn't up there. I mean, it was okay, but Voodoo was my least favorite.
Yeah.
Peyton didn't even consider it, but I'll say it. It was my least favorite.
We can continue to crap on Voodoo. It's fine. All right, Bree, what about you?
I just have to say I have two camps. I have the ones that I really liked and the ones that were okay.
Yeah.
And Voodoo and Habit, I liked. Those
Good.
were my tops because I did have a blueberry donut from Voodoo, which I thought I would try because I'd never tried it before, and it was not great. It was like a blueberry muffin, and like I don't want a blueberry muffin if I want a donut. So, but still, the maple bacon kills it. First time I'd had it, it was delicious. Always sprinkle, my favorite. Habit, the tahini was disgusting, but the white chocolate raspberry streusel was insane good.
Yeah.
So those are my top favorites. And then so were Berkeley and City. I can't say I really thought Berkeley's, I would, if I did not know that about the potato thing, I would have never noticed, to be honest with you. Didn't strike me. And City is pretty run of the mill. It's fine.
Yeah. It was
Xandra,
Yeah.
it was a tough battle for me to pick number one between Habit and Berkeley. It was like those two were really close for me, but I feel like Habit squeaked by just because that signature donut of theirs, the raspberry glazed streusel one, was just so good.
Oh, and they had the fire one.
Yeah, the blazed one.
The blazed
And
one.
That was another
too.
one that I
Duh.
really liked.
Yes.
That's probably my second
Habit
favorite
was
donut.
great.
That
Habit
was my second
really
favorite
good.
one of the day.
Yeah.
I think that
Behind
might be
maple.
our winner then. If Xandra, you and Bree, if that was a favorite, and for Peyton and I, that was number two.
Habit. Okay. Congratulations,
Right?
Habit.
Is everybody happy with that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
People would be happy if I brought a dozen over with that.
Oh yeah. I love it.
just
I
don't
love it.
recommend the tahini.
Yeah,
I'm
But-
sorry. It was called the Hot Sauce Committee donut, which is a Beastie Boys
Hilarious.
reference, which I love in itself. I would love to say I want to go get a Hot Sauce Committee.
Right.
But
when you
it was
factor in
gross.
all these things, I think Habit comes out on top. Well, congratulations, Habit.
That feels
The-
good to me.
Habit, the donut dispensary. That's its full name.
Oh, that makes
That was
sense.
kind of a sleeper choice. I didn't expect Habit to kind of sneak up on us.
Yeah, I
know.
didn't say I've ever had their donuts before
No.
today.
Me
Really,
neither.
really strong though.
Yeah.
Interesting combos, big swings, and a lot of them hit.
And you can get alcohol injected into them if that's your thing. Great. Well, Paul, Peyton, Bree, thanks so much. This was so fun.
This
was
was
so
the best.
And that's all for the week here on City Cats Denver. Our producers this week were me, Xandra McMahon, and Paul Caroli. Peyton Garcia writes our morning newsletter. Bree Davies is our host. Our music is by Los Mocachetes, with additional mixing by Tyler Lindgren, plus more from the Epidemic Sound Library. If you haven't already, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter at CityCastDenver and tell a friend about us the next time you see them. You can sign up for our daily newsletter and learn more about us at denver.citycast.fm. That is the last time I am going to get to say that. That makes me sad. Bye, everyone.
Bye, Xandra.
Bye, Zan.